Good day, students. Welcome to the science world. Have you ever wondered what science is? Why is it important? There are many different kinds of animals in the world. Some can fly, some can swim, and breathe in the air, and breathe underwater. Others lack skeletons, while some do. Scientists categorize or sort animals into many groups that share crucial traits in order to better comprehend the distinction between the species in our environment. Vertebrates and invertebrates are the two biggest animal groupings. Vertebrates are creatures with backbones or spines. Animals that lack backbones are known as invertebrates. Invertebrates make up the majority of all living things. Octopus, squid, insects, spiders, starfish, sea urchins, jellyfish, crabs, lobsters, clams, and many more animals are examples of invertebrates. Most invertebrates are rather tiny on land, but because of water will maintain them even without a skeleton, they may grow to much bigger sizes there. Less than 5% of all animal species on Earth are vertebrates. Yet, if I ask you to name an animal, you would definitely say vertebrate. Vertebrates are classified into a variety of classes or phyla. A few of these classifications include particular species of fish, such as cartilaginous fish like sharks and rays, and jawless fish like lampreys and hagfish. For the purpose of convenience, these other classifications are sometimes included with bony fish and simply referred to as fish. The remaining four groups of vertebrates are amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals are all well known. Fish are included in this. Let's examine the qualities that distinguish a fish from other animals. Fish are aquatic creatures that can breathe underwater. Their gills, not their lungs, are what they utilize to take in oxygen from the water. Fish have fins and scales. Since they have chilly blood, they are unable to regulate their own body temperature, which fluctuates according to the outside temperature. Nearly all fish also lay eggs. Frogs, toads, newts, salamanders, and other creatures that belong to the category of amphibians are amphibians. Fish and amphibians both have cold blood. In contrast to fish, amphibians have smooth, moist skin and can survive both on land and in water. In the water, amphibians deposit their tiny, jelly-covered eggs. The young may not be resemble their parents much when they hatch, since certain amphibians must undergo metamorphosis or significant change in order to mature. Amphibians are the only vertebrates that go through metamorphosis, with a few fish being an exception. You may be familiar with reptiles such as turtles, snakes, crocodiles, and lizards. Reptiles have cold blood, much like fish and amphibians do. Reptiles cannot breathe underwater since they are air-breathing creatures. Unlike them, even aquatic reptiles need to go to the surface to breathe. If an animal has dry, scaly skin, it is a reptile as opposed to an amphibian. The majority of reptiles produce eggs. However, they are significantly distinct from fish or amphibian eggs. Their eggs have a protective shell and are placed outside of the water. Reptile eggs often have supple, leathery shells. Birds are simple to identify in the whole animal kingdom. They are the only species with feathers. Birds can only breathe air, much like reptiles. Although all birds have two legs and wings, not all birds can fly. Birds have warm blood in contrast to fish, amphibians, and reptiles. They can therefore keep their body temperature steady, and birds lay eggs which have hard shells as opposed to reptiles' soft eggs. Mammals will be the last category of creatures we discuss. Humans are a member of the mammal family of animals. Mammals breathe air and have warm-blooded bodies like birds. Even aquatic creatures require air from the surface to breathe, although some have less than others. All animals have at least some fur or hair. Instead of laying eggs, almost all mammals give birth to live offspring, and all mammals feed their young milk. Mammals are the only animals that have ears that stick out, which is a fascinating feature about them. To better comprehend the world around us, the animal kingdom is divided into several divisions depending on the features of the various species. Understanding an animal's requirements and behavior can be aided by knowing if it is invertebrate, vertebrate, fish, amphibian, reptile, bird, or mammal. Alright, you have learned that animals can be divided into two groups, the vertebrates and invertebrates. Now, let's explore more about the animals that are classified as invertebrates. What are the invertebrate animals? If the vertebrates are a group of animals that have backbones, then the group of animals that do not have backbones are called invertebrates. The invertebrates is a diverse group of animals ranging from sponges to seashells. Its body parts and functions are simpler compared to those of the vertebrates. And just like vertebrates, invertebrates' habitat may also be in land, water, and air. There are 8 main subgroups of invertebrates. Those are Poriferans, Cnidarians, Platyhelminthes, Nematodes, Annelids, Mollusks, Echinoderms, and Arthropods. Let's learn about these groups of invertebrate animals and their different characteristics. The first one is the arthropods. Arthropods are joint-legged animals. They make up the largest group in the animal kingdom. Their legs are jointed. Their bodies and legs are made up of sections. They have an outside shell called the exoskeleton. Mollusks are soft-bodied or shelled animals. Snails, slugs, clams, mussels, oysters, squids, and octopuses are mollusks. Most animals like the clams, oyster, and snails have shells that protect their soft bodies. Echinoderms are spiny-skinned sea animals. They have hard shells covered with prickly spines or needles, such as starfish, sand dollars, sea urchins, and sea cucumbers are the most common examples of this group. Poriferans are marine animals full of pores or holes. These holes serve as passage for water, which carries nutrients and gases. Sponges or pore-bearing animals belong to this group. Cnidarians are hollow-bodied or soft-bodied animals. Their bodies are made up of 2 layers of cells which form a hollow tube. Platyhelminthes have bodies that look like ribbons. They have no space inside, so they have no digestive system. Nematodes consist of animals called roundworms. They are long, thin, round, and pointed at one or both ends. The ascaris lives in the intestines of human beings. The hookworm, another parasite, enters the human body by boring through the skin in the feet. Annelids. Annelids are animals belong to this group are segmented worms. They are the most complex among the worms. Their bodies are divided in 2 segments. Examples of the animals in these groups are earthworms and leeches. Alright kids, again, animals can be classified as either vertebrates or invertebrates. The invertebrates are animals without backbone, and those animals that have backbones are called vertebrates. Invertebrate body parts and functions are simpler compared to those the invertebrates. Invertebrates have simpler nervous system and they lack brains unlike invertebrates. Vertebrates are mostly bigger and stronger than invertebrates. Vertebrates are more adaptable than invertebrates. Vertebrates are divided into main subgroups: the mammals, reptiles, fish, amphibians, and birds. And invertebrates are divided into 8 main subgroups: the poriferans, cnidarians, platyhelminthes, nematodes, annelids, mollusks, echinoderms, and arthropods. Thank you for listening, students. We trust that your education on animal taxonomy was enjoyable. Until then, students, bye bye.